Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the game number 3 of the GG League season number 2 quarterfinal between Balkan Bears and Gplay. The last deciding game. Whoever loses will be out. There is no loser bracket, no double elimination, no nothing. So whoever wins this will advance to the semifinals. Loser goes out of the tournament, unfortunately so. But we are HeflaTV, your English coverage. I am Couchor. I am joined by mrpdota. More rage, please. Do you think they have any poke strats just for this game number 3?
No, it's going to be interesting. Both teams banning out the bread and butter from both sides. Once again, we see Levi's Disruptor banned out as well as Padrino's Broodmother. God knows they aren't a little too worried about Padrino's Void in this one, but BBC going to pick up the Ogre. He's been first picked, I believe, 3 times in a row, at least in the last 2 games, and they will deny that from Gplay, who was able to utilize it on Poison to good effect in Game 2, whereas Solitude was able to use it in Game 1 for BBC. Both teams with the skill Magi winning, so we will see if that trend continues here as Gplay goes into their first phase. And as you mentioned, perhaps we see a little bit some of this out of the box stuff when both teams are facing elimination here. So this is the second last quarterfinal matchup, I believe, and we will have one more in 2 days, same time, same place.
Yes, that is entirely correct indeed. So, I mean, Ogre Magi is just such a strong hero, and I believe in both games as well. The just impact of an Ogre became imminent when he got the Dagon Scepter finished in both games. Just after that, getting the just double stuns, it's too much. I mean, with one stun, it's like you can go against the RNG, but with 2 stuns, it just kind of evens each other out in the end. So it's just a crap ton of damage output. But Gplay getting their hands on a Brewmaster. I don't think we've seen a Brewmaster in this series. I think Balkan Bears has spanned it out in both games so far.
Yeah.
So another hero that's maybe gonna just give a mid-game advantage to Gplay here. And a Witch Doctor for Gplay. Balkan Bears have run it otherwise 2 games in a row.
Yeah, so they're going to deny that up from Levi. Levi's played that twice in a row, as you mentioned. The Brewmaster, definitely a tempo controller, definitely very effective in the mid-game with the use of that Primal Split. And we haven't seen anything in the like of a Brewmaster in the mid lane thus far. We've seen an Earthshaker mid lane, the Lycan mid lane as with the last 2 games, and it could be pretty effective for Kokoni here, and I'm interested to see what they pair it with the other support. Perhaps they go for a little more burst damage, perhaps they go again back for Avenge, but not the most physical damage output from this Brew, so it will be interesting. Again, we'll see BBC pick up that tide for hockey, 3rd time.
Well, if they're like, okay, 50-50, it has worked out, it failed, now it's time to work again, maybe they're just going straight off from that. I don't know, it definitely is a strong enough hero to just go for in the first phase, to be honest. Even if the last game wasn't the best game for a Tidehunter, that hero is still just ridiculously strong.
Yeah, and they did use it to great effect in Game 1 when Tidehunter's Ravage was the only big team fight that they relied on. Big team fight ultimate, I should say, that they relied on with the Echo Slam and the Chronosphere. They often overlapped them, and I guess just a little bit of miscommunication from BBC there. But with hockey being the one to initiate now, they should be a lot more clean in most of these engagements. So far, no Meepo ban from Gplay, so perhaps that's the trump card that BBC pull out in this deciding Game 3.
I mean, both teams definitely are looking for like any kind of trump card to work with at this point. So we'll see. We shall see. I wouldn't mind a Meepo or anything along those lines, but they do ban out the Faceless Void, although it had really little success in game number 1. Same as with the, or game number 2 rather, same as with the Tidehunter. It is just that strong of a hero still. It's just so hard to go up against the Chronosphere, and even if the Chronospheres don't land the greatest, your own team has to position themselves perfectly at all times to make sure that the Chronospheres don't land.
Yeah, and it can waste the duration of the split with the Chrono. It can also stop the Brew from splitting, and you can get him off. So it is even more effective this game than it was last game on paper. Of course, the team fight on paper for BBC last game, extremely potent in practice. Didn't work out to be that great, but interesting here, Insolent changed his name back to Insolent, so perhaps looking for that extra bit of power in Game 3, and no more will we see Nikoni-Kikoni combo. Perhaps Insolent comes out of his shell and is the standout player for Gplay here.
Maybe so. It's I don't know. If it actually works, man, I guess we cannot really praise that certain fact that he changed his name, but It might be like some players, they, I don't know, wear like certain gloves during playing, or just,
Hmm.
I know that one guy, kind of a Quake legend or something, Fatality, he
Hmm.
used to have a tiger on top of his monitor at all times. So it's like different things for different people.
Yep, definitely. So, BBC will garner a Phoenix ban here, so well on them to play that in game one. That'll give them a little more variability in their draft, and we did see Padrino on that Phoenix in game one, looking very well, keeping up Weeha's Terrorblade there. Perhaps we could see the TB come out again. The Lycan is banned thus far. The Void is also banned. So is the Brood, which Padrino plays quite a bit, but does leave a lot of things open for both sides. Both sides with one core and one support so far. We'll see what direction Gplay look to take us in.
Well, picking up a Jig hero, definitely a strong hero to have. Just lots of mid-game power with the Liquid Fire. Even in the later stages, just Yule Scepter into Ice Path, so good in just killing off enemy core heroes. It's a stun that only a just handful of heroes can even escape. You kind of need either a BKB or just be a puck. So
Yeah,
it's a little bit
Puck or
hard.
Slark. Yeah, for sure. Definitely need to be a very elusive hero. And they will go for the Spectre for the side of BBC. So a lot of hard carry here, a little bit of global presence, and some tankiness as well with the dispersion. But that Desolate damage is going to be what they're centering this lineup around. Hopefully they're not looking to ball up as much. Perhaps they do need a little bit more pickoff potential with the Spectre in their lineup. Maybe they go for an AA with this Ogre Magi. A little bit of global presence there. The Ice Vortex also does synergize well with the Ogre Magi's magic damage toolkit and the Tide Hunters. And the slow is always nice for retreating heroes. So it'll be interesting to see if they do pick up that AA to couple with the Spectre, or if they pick up any global presence whatsoever to synergize with that Haunt.
Yeah, they might go for something like a Zeus mid lane maybe. Just have Tyrant offlane, Spectre Ogre +1 safe and Zeus mid. It's definitely a hero that they have ran before as well.
Hmm.
Even I think got kind of a respect ban in game number 1, unless I'm mistaken, but even the Ancient Operation would be extremely annoying for Gplay, especially now that
Yeah.
they have a Slark there as well. Just the Ice Blast, if you cannot get rid of it anyway, you might be done for. Just because you rely so heavily on the Shadow Dance extra regeneration.
Yeah.
But Gplay looks like they're going for a rather aggressive lineup this time around.
Yeah, and I would like the Zeus pickup as well, though, into the Slark. That vision from the Lightning Bolt does give quite a bit against the Shadow Dance, and Slark is definitely a hero you do want to burst down. You don't want him to allow him to re-engage and disengage constantly from these fights. Heal back up and come back in with a new set of abilities. He's not very mana reliant. He's able to get off quite a few pounces and dark packs in most of these engagements if he's able to get out and regenerate up via that Shadow Dance passive. So definitely something to be worried about, but also something BBC can deal with, especially with their picks going forward. And if they do get that ever important Aghanims up on the Ogre once again, they should be able to lock him down fairly easily if he doesn't get a few well-timed dark packs off.
Yeah, I've just seen Ogre Magi kill Slarks. Slark really is a really strong hero, but the Fire Blaster just too damn strong if you don't get the Tar Pact like you mentioned. But BBC now going for a Skyrife Mage as well, a hero that I think has gotten ignored in the first 2 games completely, not banned nor picked. But definitely a good combination with the Ogre, but Zeus will get banned out now. Ancient Seal into just the Zeus spam is so damn strong, and it would have made it even easier to kill off the Slark like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But Ancient Seal with the Ogre and the Tide, still some good synergy there, and they can lock down this Slark a bit with that silence into the Fire Blast, and does do quite a bit of damage as well. But as you mentioned, great call on the Zeus. Would have been a perfect fit to the lineup from BBC. We'll see what they ban out here in the end. It looks like we are looking for an offlane hero from Gplay, unless they relegate that Jakiro to offlane responsibilities. But he's not the strongest in that role unless he's given at least another support to join him there. So, but we have seen dual lanes from both teams for a couple games now.
Yeah, I think all in all, just at this point in time in Dota in general, dual lanes are becoming more of a thing, I think.
Hmm.
So it's definitely not a bad thing to go for. It depends on what your kind of strategy is, or what you're really up against, I guess, but I'm not too sure if BBC will go for it. And the thing with dual lanes is that it really reduces your ability to just go and roam into the mid lane, for example, because one support roaming isn't half as strong as two is, so...
Yeah.
But Death Prophet has made it all the way through the pool. I think might have been ignored in the first games as well, a little bit surprisingly so, but Gplay, Death Prophet and Jakiro, I've just seen that combination win so many times.
Weehaw Storm Spirit going to come out here. I was kind of expecting the Meepo was pretty good into the Exorcism, as well as the Death Ward makes things bounce around, and they don't have too much single target from the side of Gplay with the Primal Split as well, but they pick up the Storm Spirit here, so Storm versus DP in the mid. Going to be a fairly even matchup. DP maybe with a slight edge in terms of being able to clear ways with the Crypt Swarm and secure runes that way, but either way, pretty solid lineups from both teams, and it looks like BBC are centering their focus on this Slark, looking to pick him off with the Electric Vortex into the Ancient Seal and all the stun that they have to follow up.
Oh, we will see. It's so nice to see actually both games having one win on the in-game overlay. Just, it feels so equal, so nice to get a third game actually. Because so far, GG League, all in all, it's been almost just 2-0 all the way.
Yeah, definitely. Even in before the quarterfinals, pretty much every matchup was a 2-0. I think we had 6 out of 8 best of 3s go 2-0. And right now, it was the case for Vega over Goomba, XDD over Hehe United as well. But first game 3 in the quarterfinals here, and it's a deciding one. Loser goes home in this one, guys.
It's just the downside of a single elimination, or I guess it's the downside for the teams themselves. Some people prefer double elimination. Of course, it really depends on like how much money you're playing for as well. It's not too much on the line here. I think it's $1,500 should be. So, I mean, of course, the schedule is rather relaxed as well, so that's nice. It's like 1 game per day. So it's easy for teams to schedule, it's easy for the casters to just keep on top of things as well. So it's a pretty nice tournament. Hopefully gonna come back with a season 3 as well.
You've seen this effigy from Weehaw here. It's pretty great. Front of the throne, we got Meeple with a terrible back itch. Just look at him cringe from that one. Someone please scratch my back. If I could commend it, I would. It's only got 2 commends so far.
That's only because casters cannot comment, man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, I think it was he United who had a Earth Spirit who threw down his weapon, and I think the text was like, "Screw this shit, I'm done."
Some of these are great. Padrinos sticking with the theme, attacking Levi's ass with his brood mother. Very nice. So I guess there's a little bit something going on. I wouldn't call it internal conflict on BBC, but something to do with Padrino and Levi's ass.
I do have to say that this brood mother, it looks freaking ugly. I mean, as a whole, being a spider and everything.
That it does.
Okay, well, Hockey's effigy's name is, yeah, a little bit worse off than that of Padrino's.
This is not PG. Either way, hopefully we get some good Dota underway fairly soon.
And K minus, where your effigy's at? Only one there. Only one from Poison.
Yeah, they gotta step their effigy game up. It's the deal here.
Have you created your effigies?
I haven't. I don't want to waste them yet, so I'm looking for the best pose, but.
Well. I guess it's the easiest to maybe like, I don't even know. Ogre though is kind of a safe hero to go for because Ogre will always be awesome. So
Very, very true. So you're gonna get this one underway, it seems.
Thank God for that. And to introduce the lineups for the third and final time for the day. For the side of Gplay, the Bulgarian team on the Radiant side, Hawkeye playing the Brewmaster, leaving Kikoni on the Death Prophet, with Poison playing the Jakira, and the last 2 will be Pure Evil on the Witch Doctor, and Insolent on the Slark.
Yeah, for Balkan Bears, Corleone on the Dire, starting in the safe lane, Padrino playing up on the Spectre. We've got Levi on the Ogre Magi, Solitude playing on the Skywrath Mage in the mid lane, Weehaw on the Storm Spirit, and Hockey, once again for the 3rd time, playing on the Tidehunter in the off lane.
I don't know what's up with me, but I really like when people have just spent all of their gold. It's like they're on 0 gold. It feels so efficient, man.
Either way, we got Hawkeye starting on the Brewmaster, so it should be an off-lane Brew here. And he's picked up Stout Shield, so maybe we'll have Poison with him once again, duo lanes from Gplay. And hopefully they're able to find some farm on this brew. He can be pretty underwhelming mid-game. If not, Ignite goes out onto Hawkeye. Arcane Bolt to follow. Dual Breath going to hit on 3 from the high ground. Spectral Dagger is there as well. Looks like they're privy to chasing this, but just going to put quite a bit of harass into both Poison and Hawkeye. And they should back off as the tower is looming.
Yeah, really nice body blocking from the Shakiro coming out. Ignite, unfortunately, a little bit too long of a cooldown there as well. 15 seconds, I mean, it doesn't feel all that long, but in that situation, with a lower cooldown, might have gotten the kill on Shakiro at least to follow up then. Still forcing out a couple of tangos from both the Brewmaster as well as the Shakiro, so it's a decent trade for them. And I guess they had to use some mana as well, but not that big of a deal in the end, for either side.
Yeah, definitely. Going to be interesting to see who takes the advantage in this mid lane matchup. So far, we are with a slight edge, but should even out. And it doesn't look like there's too much kill potential in this bot lane. Slark and the Witch Doctor, they do have the cask into the pounce, but Hockey is pretty tanky, and not sure they'll be able to bring him down till there's at least a level in Dark Pact in addition to that pounce.
Well, at the moment, it's kind of a passive laning phase. Once again, both games have started rather passive. Hockey does get paralyzed and cast, but of course nothing to bounce to. So nothing will come of that. So, predictions on what minute and which second will we see the first blood?
I don't feel like there's too much kill potential this early lane. I feel like it will happen from the defensive trial lane from BBC. Perhaps Hawkeye gets caught out. It's got to happen sooner rather than later, though, because the Ice Path will have to be out from this Jakiro. So I'll say 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Hawkeye goes down in the top lane, unless he dies right now.
Well, there's definitely a chance. Oh god, the body blocks now. He's going for the TP out. What a player, man. Hawkeye, he escapes. Oh, but Tidehunter. God damn. So 1 minute 49 seconds. I totally would have called it, but I just didn't have time for it. I swear, man.
Unusual to see Hockey go down this early with 2 levels up. 1 in the Kraken Shell, 1 in the Anchor Smash, but Pounce and the Dark Pact were there, and they were able to bring him down. So he is still level 3 though, so still finding quite a bit in this offlane, and should be fine to continue doing so.
Yeah, I mean, giving away first blood is never a thing you strive for, but in a case where you at least get this much XP, it's going to be worth it for Hockey. Not getting too many last hits, but it's still going to be nice for him. Especially since Slark, if he's left alone, Tidehunter is going to get even more. Although I guess Slark is a decent enough hero to deal with a Tidehunter even solo, just the essence shift with the right clicks and everything.
Right.
But this Slark, especially with them getting the first blood here, although he didn't get the last hit for the first blood, do you think we might see some greed coming out with like a Hand of Midas, or is just trades into Blink and just whatever follows?
I wouldn't like the Midas here. I generally really do. Slark is a hero that benefits from levels and even the attack to a slight extent, but they have the Death Prophet and the Brewmaster, so I really feel like that mid-game is their window to start making things happen here. And they may need to wait a little bit for Hawkeye's Blink Dagger as he is in the off lane, so there still could be the possibility for a Midas, but I'd like a Treads Blink Rush from Insolent here.
I would probably prefer that as well. They definitely don't want to give Spectre the space. Especially since BBC, the rest of the 4 heroes that they have, they definitely can just create the space. Oh man, this should be an easy kill. Fire Blast first. We will get the Electro Vortex. Only level 1, but the slows will be plenty. So, they even up the kill score now. And of course, Storm Spirit getting closer to that level 6. Getting some momentum. Definitely a snowball heavy hero as well.
Yeah, they try to aggress onto the Spectre in the top lane, knowing that the supports are gone, but just not enough mana on Hawkeye, and he can't get in range for a clap as there's no Ice Path yet. It is now skilled up by Poison, so they may look for some kill potential here, but once again, clap too low on mana. Hockey gonna find another bounty rune. That's the second of the game, and he's level 4 on the Tidehunter.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all. Once he gets the Ravage, once they get the Haunt as well, they can take fights rather easy, and we, with the haste rune going top lane, oh god, they are screwed. Oh, Hawkeye still silenced up, but will get slowed down. There's the Electric Vortex pull in, and just double kill, and we picks up both of them as well. 4.5 minutes in, he's like 2-3 creeps away from being level 6 already. This game, at least, is starting well for him, although lasted twice, the Death Prophet still has the advantage.
Yeah, very nice rotation, easy kills with that haste rune from Weehaw. He's going to find the ball lightning here, as you mentioned. Hockey going to rotate out of bot lane, being zoned out by the Witch Doctor here. And Pure Evil doing a good job of that, but he's going to try and perhaps body block up this camp. Hockey can put some punishment into him, however, with these anchor smashes. And the zip down from Weehaw. They're just going to throw a few right clicks, but the cast bouncing nicely. Still a zip forward from Weehaw. Should be one more right click needed here. He doesn't have quite enough mana, and Insolent going to rotate in. Pounce is going to miss. Dark Pact will be there. Nice anchor smash from Hockey. He's going to stave off the aggression for now. Unfortunately, Weehaw just not having enough mana to get through there as he was crowing his bottle.
Yeah, and it's definitely you need to have the bottle on the Storm Spirit as well. As Kikoni, as he saw the fight happening, he popped his Exorcism, wanted to go for as much damage as he can on a tier 1. And that is something I haven't seen for quite a long time from a Death Prophet. Usually it's like maxing out the Witchcraft and the Crypt Swarm.
Yeah.
But that's just the power of the hero. Once the enemy mid laner leaves, you start just applying a pressure immediately.
Yeah, level 1 Exorcism pretty underwhelming with only 2 levels in the Witchcraft. So interesting, as you mentioned, to see it skilled this early. But he does get about 40% of the tier 1 down, which is a nice little pick for him early. Either way, Hockey's farming fairly well on the Tidehunter in terms of experience, and Weehaw, despite having the CS disadvantage, is almost level 7 on the Storm Spirit, so still ahead in experience over Kikoni's Death Prophet.
Yeah, not doing too bad at all. Pounce! Oh god, it was so close to connecting on Hockey. The trajectory, everything was correct, but just a few inches separating from him. But mid lane, ball lighting in, silent stop as well on Kikoni. Electric Vortex back from a rather long range. And are they gonna get the kill? Yes, they are. Or nope, he gets stunned. They get the kill in the end anyway, but Witch Doctor gets the counter with a double damage rune. Gonna put quite a lot of hurt into Wii as well, but knows he cannot really follow up a Storm Spirit. Especially who has 3 bottle charges, and Wii does he really want to turn things around? Sure, looks like it. Gonna go in with the overload. Ultimate use as well. One more right click. It's not gonna be enough. The magic stick and the Voodoo Restoration. He's completely out of mana now. He's gonna lose his life. That was a little bit too ballsy by him.
Yeah, huge kill going the way of Pure Evil and the Jakiro here, and both the supports will get quite a bit for that. Pure Evil still surviving mid, and another rotation in from Solitude is wasted here, and this is time that Padrino has been able to farm, but Insolent is farming as well, and Weehaw going down there, big win for Gplay.
Yeah, absolutely so. And of course Slark, he has himself Gloves of Haste, so might be going for the Hand of Midas after all. I guess it's gonna be within a reasonable time, because mid lane the Horn comes in as well. They want to go for Death Prophet once again. Electric Vortex back, there will be no escape. 3 points into the Desolate on Padrino as well. Extremely aggressive, just skill build. And Hastior now gets the 2 charges from it as well, so the next time they go for it, chasing people down will be even easier.
Yeah, definitely not the best to have him rotate out a lane, but certainly worth a high priority kill. Like the Death Prophet, who's currently sitting at 3rd overall on net worth and at the top of the CS charts. But as you mentioned, Insolent saving 1300 gold, has the Gloves of Haste, probably will pick up that Midas here, and it definitely will help with the levels in terms of how far he already is ahead, and is just generally good on Slark. If he's got that level 16, 17 mark, he starts to become really potent, and he's going to allow Kikoni and the Brew to save space for him. But meanwhile, Ice Path going to go out onto Levi in the top lane. Dual Breath is there well, but Ancient Seal onto Hawkeye. He's taking a lot of Desolate damage, but they won't be able to follow us up for the time being. Pounce is going to come in from Insolent. Padrino is going to go down as well. Zip forward from Weehaw. He's going to find Hawkeye in the trees. Voodoo Restoration is keeping him up though. He's able to split off. Weehaw going to go down as well. Disaster in the top lane for BBC. They lose 3-0.
They might even lose Solitude. The Stormbender still has enough duration. Will get the Cyclone up in the air. Is he going to dispel it himself? Yes, he is. And one more right click. No, he should have left the Cyclone to run and have his other heroes come close. Got a little bit too greedy there. Got antsy. So they don't get the 4th kill, but still a solid 3-0 there. We just came in, but didn't really respect the low mana pool that you have this early on.
Yep, Spectral Dagger is out onto Hawkeye, but he's going to be able to TP out, and there was an Ice Path there as well. Padrino going to run into the trees. He's going to find Pure Evil there. Zip forward from Weehaw. He's going to cancel that Death Ward. Ice Path is going to land on both of them, however. Electric Vortex keeping back Insolent. They're going to bring him down with the Static Remnant. Padrino going to be next to fall, however. And zipping forward, Weehaw will find another kill there. So a nice little return. 3 for 1 for them. Padrino is up for 2 of those kills. So certainly worth it for BBC, and Gplay overstaying their welcome a bit, giving some farm over to Weehaw.
Yeah, the Slark just having up for the Hand of Midas didn't have the ability to trade switch, so it just kind of lacked the mana for the Shadow Dance. Had he had the Shadow Dance, maybe he would have been able to either try to go for a counter kill or at least make the escape for himself. So it did die there. So I guess to just fight the Gplay one, it was kind of negated from that. Storm Spirit still #1 in the net worth, has the first Oblivion Staff, and it's, if he continues like this at least, it's gonna be a rather fast Orchid, and that's gonna mean, I guess there's not like any massive heroes that you need to Orchid. I guess Brewmaster is gonna suffer the most from it.
Yeah, Brewmaster definitely the hero that's going to be counted up most, but Kikoni does have more farm than the Brew, so they're going to have to be worried about this Death Prophet. The split is up, the Arcane Boots are ready. Hawkeye not going to have a blink for at least another 4 minutes or so, but either way, he's not the total focus of their team fight at this point. In the bot lane, Levi's been jumped onto. Haunt is going to be expelled here. Levi going to drop early. He's going to reality in from Padrino. He's going to get cast up immediately. Jump in, pull onto Poison. The Death Ward going out and doing work though. Padrino running and turning tail. Crypt Swarm, one last right click is going to find him on the low ground, and the Spectre will fall here after the Ogre. Weehawk going to be able to disengage. He has an invisibility rune, so he is looking for some return kills, and he is able to pick up the Arcane Boots.
Oh my god.
Of pure evil, and they do know that someone is here, but no detection available. Gonna pop the Exorcism. Glyph is ready here at the tier 1, and they can defend this. Pure evil will get Vortex back, and Balkan Bear Weehaw will. And the Balkan Bears will not be able to mount a defense here, and they will lose their tier 1. Pounce Ward is going to land on the Skywrath Mage, and he will drop. Insolent Cask is going to get dodged slightly by Weehaw. He should be just fine to make it out here. Pounce not going to land. Dark Pack is enough with one last right click, though. Kikoni going to bring him down. Padrino teleporting aggressively into his death, and the split committed there. Ravage does land, but there's nothing to follow it up. And Insolent not going to be brought down. Hockey going to feed his life over as well. He actually does make it out for the time being. One last right click though from Kikoni is enough. Mystic Flare not available from Solitude. He's only level 5. He was 1 creep from level 6. And unfortunate for them, they find another 4 kills just for Insolent in that bot lane.
Well, all in all, it was about a 2k gold swing from the fights. But also Arcane Boots were lost from Gplay. So that's like a 1.5k swing in return. Still Gplay coming slightly ahead, and Pure Evil almost has his new Arcane Boots. So they still took a good fight. It hurt them a little bit, but that just boot steal might have given BBC some like false sense of security, or I don't know. Because if I had been Weeder, gotten the boots like that, I would have been pumped. Although the sickest thing is that you pick up the boots, you don't even break invis. That's the most retarded thing about Dota, I think. You can just pick up runes and everything and not break invis.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, they do find the tier 1 from BBC in the bot lane for Gplay, and they are using up Levi in the top lane. Silence is there as well. Pounce is not going to hit from Insolent, but the Cask will fly through. Death Ward going to finish things off with the Crypt Swarm from Kikoni. Easy, clean pickoff for Gplay in the top lane. They can transition this into a bit of a push as the wave does rotate in here, and they should find this tier 1 as there's no glyph, and BBC just not ready to defend this here.
Well, at least Spectre, I mean, he hasn't been completely shut down, but him going for Urn, Face Boots, and now has Bracers as well. If he even wants to go for a Radiance, it's going to be a rather late one, unless they just find towers or fights magically.
Yeah, I really don't see him going for that. Exorcism popped in the top lane. He has died 4 times in the past couple minutes on the Spectre. Jump in, pounce onto Levi, though. He's going to get hit with the Fire Blast after the Dark Pack. Levi will be able to retreat here. Spectral Dagger comes out from the Spectre, but they're not going to be able to defend this unless they have a Ravage, and there's no blink available with this Ravage. Ravage still down for 15 seconds, but the Exorcism is going to expire here soon. However, it will heal Kikoni up, but he's going to TP back to mid lane and defend that against the wave.
14 to 10 the overall kill score. Looking at the graphs as well, 4k net worth lead for Gplay, about 2500 in XP. A pretty solid lead, but how close are we to the Orchid? Well, almost has the second Oblivion Staff.
Weird little mechanic there. Kikoni TP to the mid lane, and the spirits were coming in to heal him at the time, and they didn't follow him across the map, and he didn't get healed up from that Exorcism. So A little bit unusual. Never seen that happen. But either way, Hawkeye's Blink Dagger is now out at 14 minutes. It's exactly the time I mentioned, around 10 minutes. So that's going to be a really big pickup. Hockey has his Blink Dagger now as well, but Blink Split available with the Pounce in from the Slark. They do have the Exorcism as well. Gplay's lineup looking very good, as Padrino not quite ready to fight yet on that Spectre.
He can definitely haunt in, but his just effectiveness will be limited. Desolate definitely helps out there, but there are some reasonably tanky heroes on Gplay. Voodoo Restoration, of course, keeping them alive for a little bit longer as well there. But Hawkeye with his Blink Dagger wants to find something. As Arcane Boots as well to just sustain the mana pool, and I think Levi on the Ogre Magi, he is gonna be a sad Ogre soon enough. There's the Ice Buff starting things up. Blink, right click, Thunderclap. They don't even need the Primal Split for this, I think. Just gonna burn him down and get the kill.
Yep, Hawkeye gonna pick up the last hit there, so nice little pick off for the duo of the Jakiro and the Brewmaster. Looks like we will see a smoke from Solitude, Hockey, and Weehaw here. Zip forward from Weehaw right onto Hawkeye, and he does have the split available here. There's the Ice Path, but he gets sealed up, and he will be dropped. Jump forward, Ravage onto 2. Jakiro gonna fall quickly. Insolent jumps in here. The Death Prophet is backing off. He will be able to bring down Weehaw's Thorn Spirit with the Pounce there. Padrino gonna fall to that Death Ward in the tree line, and a nice turnaround from Gplay. Blink out into the trees from Hockey will be successful. But either way, they bring down 2 for 2, and both the highest net worth cores from BBC going down there. Not worth it to pick off the off-lane Brewmaster and Jakiro.
Yeah, now level 2 Exorcism comes out. They're gonna go for the tier 2, which was already pretty low to begin with. They don't have the Jakiro to help out with the Liquid Fire, but they don't really even need it. Maybe can even transition into Roshan if they really want to force things. But that's a Blink Dagger on the Slark now, and Solitude, he cannot feel safe in the middle. And of course he doesn't know there's a Blink yet, but he's gonna find out the wrong way, I think.
Yep, he is jumped in on. Pounce there, Dark Pact as well. Few right clicks from Insolent, and he's gonna finish him off before the cast even gets there. So easy pick off for Insolent. That might is starting to pay off. He's found his Blink as well as 1300 gold, and is level 12, which is the second highest overall in terms of experience to Kekoni's Death Prophet.
Just imagine, had the Witch Doctor not lost his Arcane Boots, he would be sitting on Arcanes, Urn, and even probably a point booster at the very least towards this Aghanim Scepter. Now though, he went for the Soul Ring instead, so he's like, screw these guys, I'm not gonna give them the satisfaction of building new Arcane Boots, I'm gonna go Soul Ring now. It's like, what's up with that, man?
Yeah, he's probably just a little bit salty about losing the Arcane there, but I guess he could build a Bloodstone later on if he presumes he won't die much. He is 4-1-10 on this Witch Doctor, so has been involved in 14 of their 18 kills. He's only died once out of the 12 deaths on his team, so could be interesting to see, but like you said, probably just doesn't want to build those Arcanes again.
Oh, to be honest, I would be salty as well. I mean, that's just the thing that... My god. It wasn't even a like ball lightning, just in with somebody steals it and suddenly item is gone from the ground and you don't even know who did it. But the Blink Pounce onto Levi. Do they have enough follow-up? Dark Pact was used, Shadow Dance as well not to get stunned. Hawkeye does come in, Blink, Thunderclap, Primal Split Pop, Death Ward onto Hockey. Another 2 solid kills. And Brewmaster is just on a pure zoning mission against Solitude at this point. Not gonna get too much stun, didn't use the Windwalk on the Storm. Will use the Cyclone though. And Earth Panda will time out, so he's gonna come back, but they will claim themselves the tier 2. So 2 kills, a tier 2 down. Gplay, they're just getting so much momentum, and although the Orchid is done now and we, with the Tower Last Hit as well, helping out up to another 900 gold, it's just Gplay, they have gotten so much, like out of the last 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, and Exorcism is up here, just comes off cooldown. Kekoni will pop it. Ravage is available, but the Tidehunter is still down for another 7 seconds. They will expend the Glyph here. But they should be able to get at least half of this tier 3 down, and they actually will back off with the Tidehunter respawning and Haunt available just for the time being. Gonna regroup from the side of Gplay. Look to put a little more damage in this T3, but Kekoni doesn't want to walk up high ground. Haunt in mid lane, no reality quite yet. Jump forward from Weehaw, however. They are gonna find one with the Mystic Flare. Ravage is gonna land, but Insolent gets off the Shadow Dance, trying to run away, will be Ancient sealed up and brought down. And that's already 3 clean picks. Jump forward from Weehaw. He's going to find Poison as well, trying to TP out. Will get caught by the Ice Path, however. And Poison will barely make it out, but a nice 3 kills for BBC. Gplay overstaying their welcome, and when they split up, they weren't able to focus any target there and got connected on by the Ravage.
The Slark, he took so much damage while being in the Shadow Dance. it was just straight into a static remnant, for example, of we. He just dropped so damn low, and usually it's like Shadow Dance, you're almost untouchable, but
yeah,
still took all the damage. So really good fight for BBC, exactly what they needed as well. They don't lose the tier 3, it's not even down to half HP. But now BKB is finished on Kikoni, so next Exorcism he can feel a lot safer. I mean, it's... What does he really have to be afraid of when he has the BKB active? It's more or less nothing.
yeah, it's more or less nothing from the side of BBC. It's pretty much absolutely nothing, because even Desolate doesn't, although it's pure damage, doesn't go through BKB. So yeah, I wouldn't be worried at all about this Death Prophet. He also has the Yules for after the magic immunity, so should be very survivable with the silence as well. They do know Ravage is down here, but Exorcism also down for 35 seconds, so they're probably not going to look to take an immediate engagement here. But there are a couple of targets in the top lane in the form of Weehaw and Solitude. And Solitude, very susceptible to these ganks. Insolent gonna find him here, probably won't be able to burst him down in time, but the Yules is there from Kikoni, and he will fall shortly hereafter. One more right click in the tree line from Kikoni, gonna find him there. And it looks like Weehaw was able to TP out from the lane.
So at this point, if you're Gplay, you still really cannot relax all that much, just because Tidehunter, he's fairly farmed, has the mech and blink on the Tide, which is pretty damn good, especially compared to the last game. Spectre up to 3.8k gold, that's gonna be Sacred Relic done, getting into the Radiance territory. Storm Spirit up to another 2.8k gold as well. Can go for a BKB, can start going for a Bloodstone, Hex, whatever he really wants. So late game is just still so strong for BBC. I mean, it's not weak for Gplay either, but a Slark, he really needs to be like 6 slotted to be an actual like real threat of a late game carry, I think. So,
yeah, I totally agree with you. Every time they do have these ultimates off cooldown, it needs to be the cue for them to begin fighting here. We haven't really seen the effectiveness of the Orchid from Weehaw, except for that mid lane engagement that just occurred. But if they're able to get off the Exorcism, they do have the BKB to purge that as well. So if they're able to get off that Exorcism and the Primal Split, they should have very good engagements here. And the BKB is almost out for the Brewmaster as well. He's got the Mithril Hammer in stash, so he's only a recipe away from that. But it looks like Gplay will convene mid and look for a push on this tier 3.
Yeah, I'd say this is the correct decision, but oh, Hawkeye goes in, Blink, Thunderclap, breaks the smoke with the Blink as well, gets the Primal Split off. It's just purely zoning, I think, at this point. Death Ward as well, never mind, they want to kill Levi, maybe a little bit premature from Pure Evil. Gonna have to cancel it, pounce forward from Slark, not just nowhere near enough. Can they get another Cyclone onto Hockey? Maybe, never mind, they're going to kill the Storm Panda, and that's the death of Hawkeye. He dove a little bit too deep. So they don't get Rex, at least range Rex drop pretty low. But, I mean, losing a Brewmaster for just almost a range Rex, it's not the worst trade, I guess.
It's not terrible. Zip is into the jungle from Weehaw. Doesn't find anyone retreating here, but if they do continue to only chip away and lose engagements like this, they will allow BBC back into the game. Petrino has picked up almost a full Radiance at this point. He's got 1100 gold in addition to his Relic, and all things considered, 3, 5, and 10 on the Spectre, 23 minutes in is not terrible with the Urn, Bracer, and Phase Boots.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. If you get like a 24-minute Radiance, it's actually pretty damn good for you. And Vido, a little bit low on mana, might be in some trouble as Pure Evil comes in as well. Doesn't have the Death Ward, but Blink pounce will miss. But we going for the TP out. Paralyzing Cask, is it going to be there in time? No, it's not.
Unfortunately, the projectile just takes a little too long in that moment, and Kikoni may be caught out here bot lane. Levi gonna find him with a Fire Blast, haunt in instantly from Pedrino. He's gonna have to use that 10-second BKB charge, but will be able to back off, and well worth saving his life there. TP's into the bot lane. Fire Blast 3 times multicast onto Poison. Negative Urn charge as well is there, but the Voodoo Restoration gonna keep him up for the time being, and they don't have any follow-up from the side of BBC here, so everyone able to disengage. From the side of Gplay, they do have the split up in 14 seconds here, so they should be able to look for another engagement with that off of cooldown. But jump in mid lane, Orchid up onto Hawkeye, and he's going to drop here to Weehaw, so the Soul Burn will take him down. Insolent has a blink at the ready, will blink forward with the Dark Pact, does pounce as well, but he's going to be able to ball out of it for Weehaw, and he should make it away just fine. So nice solo pick there for the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, definitely picking up pace there, just getting, well, I guess almost a kill on the bottom lane and escaping themselves. Radiance is done now. V has himself a BKB. They are getting a lot stronger than they were before. And although Death Prophet is pretty farmed, has himself a Reaver already and 1.6k gold as well. My god, I don't even know where he gets the farm really. I guess just all the buildings having gone down. But BBC, they are about 4k net worth behind. 3k XP ahead though. And that 4k net worth is just purely the outer towers as well at this point.
Yeah, and this Radiance will accelerate the farm of Padrino as we see a 4-man smoke movement from the side of Gplay through the jungle. Just TP'd out though was Levi, so not there for them to find. Padrino gonna Spectral Dagger into the trees, will be just fine as well. And it looks like they will go mid lane, so these solo pickoffs from the Stormfield will continue to delay their pushes here, but as they do have their ultimates up and everyone is alive, Insolent is going to find Hockey farming Ancients. He's going to try and TP away. There will be nothing to stop this, but the Yules is there from Kikoni. Jump down from Weehaw. He's going to pop his BKB and orc it up Insolent. Death Ward does go out though. It is going to find the Tidehunter. Shadow Dance used by Insolent is going to keep him up. Weehaw's going to have to back up. And he did use that BKB. Kikoni chasing down Levi now. He does have a Yules available soon. And there is one used by the Jakiro there. They're going to bring him down with a Crypt Swarm and a few more right clicks. No buyback for the Ogre. Buyback is available for Hockey. He's got the Ravage as well. Blink Cord from Insolent, not going to find anything. And they're going to take this range Rax down before anything, but the Glyph is used here. Hockey available with a Blink Ravage. He does blink, he expends it. Only hits on one though, and they're going to jump back in on Hockey. Blinking from Insolent will be able to finish off this Tidehunter fairly soon. Insolent dropping low though, is going to have to back off. Padrino putting a lot of work into Kikoni here, but is slowed from that dual breath. And the Arcane Bolt going to fall him out. There's a jump out from Weehaw. He gets used up, but Kikoni going to fall here. Ice Path on 2. Poison going to be next to drop as well. And Insolent should be okay in the tree line. He does have a blink available. But again, 4 return kills found for the side of BBC. And they saved their racks.
Yeah, unfortunately so the Tidehunter did have to die back there. But definitely worth it, saving the racks. It's really a wonder that the range rack survived like that. But also, when they went for the Tidehunter, it could have been such a different fight from the get-go. I think they would have been able to burst down Slark immediately had they had a Ravage. Oh, Blink, Pounce, misses mid lane. So Solitude will make it out, but that was Tidehunter popping the mech and not having enough mana for a Ravage anymore. That really saved the Slark's life, and I'm not too sure how much follow-up PVC would have had, but at least it would have been like a Slark for Tide immediately. Although, I guess in hindsight, just getting 4 kills after that, since the Tide, just without the Slark dying, it was maybe even worth it to die in that case.
Yeah, certainly with keeping the structures up, I would consider it definitely worth it. And the bot lane tier 2 is being aggressed on too by Weehaw, but he does have to zip out. It will get denied by Pure Evil, and he does TP away promptly. So he'll be okay for the time being. Things looking good again for BBC. Padrino starting to find some farm with that Radiance up. He has surpassed the Slark for Insolent on the net worth chart, but it looks like things are going to look to mount up once again. Middle lane, Kikoni, 8 seconds till that Exorcism, is looking for hunting for pickoffs with Insolent, but they won't find anyone, and they will look to pressure this mid lane once again.
Yeah, they are tanking up. I mean, Heart of the Rask fully done on Death Prophet. Insolent is going to have himself that Eye of Skadi done now as well. So 1.8k HP, Shadow Dance going to regen you so much more, and Kikoni pops his ultimate, you'll set it up immediately. They still have the Haunt. Well, that's going to be range racks for sure, I believe. They're going for melee instead now. Primal Split used as well. He jumps in for the silence onto Pure Evil. Mystic Flare to get him down. Haunt is used now, but can they get the Rex? Maybe if they focus on it. Just get Rex, even if you die, it's going to be just fine for you. But they're trying to fight at this point. Now Insolent, he's on the run from who is rather low on mana. The Rex will go down as Kikoni is escaping. There's the Ravage catching 3 heroes. Hawkeye will lose his life poison on the run. They're going to catch Kikoni as well before the spirits return and start healing him up. Insolent will pounce out, but it was a 2-4-0? Was it really 2-4-0? No, Witch Doctor had to buy back. But still, racks are down.
Yeah, but Weehaw prioritizing the Witch Doctor there, taking the Death Ward out of the fight early with that Orchid. And they do get the racks there, but at what cost? I'm not sure if they keep feeding over these engagements that they are going to be able to scale into this late game well enough. The Spectre keeps surviving, has picked up a Reaver and a Vit booster, and they go into Roche here. So Heart will be out soon for Padrino, and I'm not sure that they have the burst anymore, although the Scotty has been picked up on Insolent, and they are running towards this Roche pit with the Death Ward at the ready. High Ground Ward just placed though by Solitude. They will see them rotating in. Jump forward from Insolent onto the Solitude here. He's going to get Mystic Flared up, going to have to pock that Shadow Dance instantly. And they are going to be able to re-engage on him. Ice Path is going to hit on 3 with the Macro Pyre, though. Death Ward doing work as well. Skywrath Mage goes down, but that's the only one, and the Witch Doctor going to fall. Looks like Poison will be next. Jump forward, clap onto 3. No split available from Hawkeye though. And he's going to have to back out. Insolent ready to fight once again. It will bring down the Observer Ward. Hockey, though, at the ready. He's going to get pounced on. Darkpact is here as well. He's going to save it, though, for his retreat. Jump through, clap onto the Ogre Magi. But Hawkeye looks to be dead from this. One Deathblade Strike with the Spectral Dagger. Yules up onto Padrino. Is going to get silenced up, but will be able to jump up to the high ground. He's stuck one-on-one with Insolent up here. Gush from the low ground, though, and one right-click from Padrino's Spectre. He's going to bring him down and be able to TP out on the high ground. And the Crypt Storm will bring him down, though, from Kekoni. So Kekoni gonna have to pop BKB and Turntail. They won't be able to bring down Roche with only these 3 heroes, presumably, but they will try for it with the Bloodlust on Weehawk. Hockey gonna tank that up. But Kekoni is still here with the Yules. Exorcism at the ready, and they will back out there, so they do get the Spectre, and that's gonna stave off the aggression towards Roshan for the time being. And Kekoni will actually pop Exorcism and go in himself with Poison there. Weehaw is on the high ground with the clear vision from the Remnant. He could look to snatch this here. Will he do it? BKB jump in and picked up by Kekoni. It looks like he's going to have to zip out here. Exorcism actually is going to be enough to clean him up. He doesn't have enough mana. And Weehaw feeding over a very costly death, as well as his BKB charge. That was the 8-second charge. So even if he buys back here, it's down for 50 seconds.
That was absolutely huge. I mean, he kind of miscalculated there. And not only that, he TP'd away early. He was in the Roche speed, TP'd home because he just didn't have too much mana to fight. Well, the fight was still going on and pretty strongly so. But he used the Ball Lightning to just cover a huge distance in a short amount of time. But then he didn't have enough mana once again. That was the early reason he even TP'd out in the first place. So
yeah,
yes, he got a little bit of HP back, but you need mana to do damage if you're a Storm Spirit. So maybe it's a slight misplay. And now Kekoni at least doesn't have the Exorcism. But oh, Insolent! He kind of ran into his death. Just got to taste the Aghanim Scepter Ogre there.
Yeah, and definitely not going to be able to push without their Slark here. So they do find the Aegis, but not going to be able to make immediate use of it. Exorcism still down for 70 seconds. Ravage is up here. So certainly BBC are capable of fighting. And Padrino does pick up the full heart now. Has 1,200 gold in addition to that. So can look to go something like a Diffusal or just the Yasha for now into a Manta style, which is pretty good against the Pounce as well as the Death Prophet's Silence. So wouldn't mind the Manta style from him here.
At this point, game is pretty up and down. I mean, it looks like everybody who tries to go for or wins a fight and then it just loses the next fight straight away almost.
Yeah.
But we do have some items coming out by the looks of it. Kekoni up to 3.6k gold, can go for anything he wants more or less. 1.7k on Padrino as well. Hawkeye, how long has he been trying to go for the BKB recipe for now?
For a very long time. Still 300 gold off of that. It's been since about 20 minutes he's been looking for that. If you look, excuse me, if you look at the metrics right now, BBC even has found a small gold lead, but you see the virtue of all these little engagements in their base finding return kills in excess of 10k experience lead in their favor now.
Oh, the Pounce misses Padrino. Yules Scepter catches him. Can they get the follow-up before he gets to the high ground? There's the Death Ward as well, but there's the Ravage, catches all 5 of the heroes. Haunt to follow. They are so grouped up. Mystic Flare will not do anything at all almost, but he's around with his BKB. Can he follow up for the kills? He wants to go for the Insolent, might even find the Slark. He will do so with the last right clicks. In the meantime, Exorcism will clear up one, but as he loses the Aegis, so goes the Exorcism. And now it's only just the Brewlings doing anything at all. Levi, he's so low, but they're gonna keep on fighting. They need some slows onto Kekoni though. The silence itself is not enough. Spectre Dagger coming off cooldown, which might be exactly what they were looking for. It doesn't land though. Oh my god. Concussive Shot will still be there. I don't think there's an escape. Could have been a little bit easier for the kill of Poison. He's around. Maybe that's Ice Path. Are you kidding me? Kekoni, he is gonna survive. Ignite follows up the last Arcane Bolt. He does die Poison. He's gonna get slowed down. Hawkeye blinks him, but there's no Primal Split. Silence up pulled in as well. That's 5 heroes down.
Yeah, they do have buyback on the Death Prophet and the Brewmaster, but no split, no Exorcism. This could be an easy couple of towers here for BBC. And I feel like after that engagement, this game is well within their grasp. And in fact, they are leading.
Jakiro, that was a dieback as well from him. And Brewmaster, unfortunately so, still BKB will be delayed even further. What an excellent fight. The Ravage catching all 5. Their Anchor Smash, at least onto free to follow as well. And just Exorcism. You lost the Aegis, suddenly Exorcism is gone, and so is the majority of her damage. Slark also getting boxed out of the fight and just picked up immediately. That was just excellent stuff coming out. Hex now finished on the Storm Spirit as well. That's huge.
Yeah, so I guess Weehaw being there for the Roshan was a little bit beneficial in the sense that Death Prophet, not the best Aegis carrier in the game, a much better cheese carrier. Of course, it was only a level 2 Roshan, so wasn't able to get that. But either way, Weehaw did feed over his life there, but it forces Kikoni to pick up that Aegis, and Slark probably would have been better with that. You saw Insolent dying there early, and therefore, very nice Ravage from Hockey wins them another engagement. And he's been very good on this Tide in the first and third games for sure.
It's just 50-50, man. Or not 50-50, but every second game. Well, I guess it's the same as 50-50, but 50-50 makes it sound a little bit more random. But yeah, every second game, man. Every second game.
Yeah, we're looking really good for BBC now. Looks like if they don't make a huge misstep here, they should be able to bring back this Rax advantage to even here. Padrino in the top lane does have Haunt at the ready, so should be just fine to get out. He's also got most of his lineup backing him up. Only Hockey pushing out the mid lane.
And we do require a second. Somebody is probably lagging or something along those lines. As Brewmaster finishes up his BKB. I guess it's still a nice pickup for him. You can avoid getting ravaged and whatnot. But I mean, BKB Brewmaster 35 minutes in and just having Blink and Arcane Boots is actually not that scary of a hero like this. The scariest thing about him is that the Cyclone of the Storm Panda is just kind of eliminating one core hero of BBC from the fight.
Yeah.
But that's really the scariest thing about that hero at this point.
Yeah, and even with the minus, Insolent, 4th overall on the net worth chart, is going to get jumped in here by Weehaw, but he's going to get lifted up with the Eul Scepter. Mystic Flare will be enough to finish off Insolent, though, with that Ancient Seal. Exorcism is popped, but Weehaw just going to be able to back out and disengage from this. The Death Ward popped as well, and it looks like BBC will be able to regroup and go right back in with Hockey available with that Ravage. Padrino has haunted back to the bottom lane here, so they will have to regroup in another lane, but they know that the Exorcism is down. The Primal Split is available, but Slark down for another 40 seconds without buyback. And with Ravage available, they certainly can take a good engagement here. Scythe of Vice is up on Weehaw as well. That's a huge item for this next engagement to bring down this Death Prophet early.
I mean, they don't even need to focus the Death Prophet now that he doesn't have Exorcism. That was a huge bait there. Now they're going for the tier 2. At least Kikoni trying to split push, but without the Exorcism, not that huge of a threat. Maybe if he had like AC as well would be a little bit faster, but they're going to lose tier 2 and BBC, do they keep on going or... Well, I guess they are keeping back at least one hero, but it's Padrino, he has the Haunt, he can join the fight anyway.
Yeah, BKB popped by Kikoni, it's now 5 seconds, so hasn't lost much for that Death Prophet, but didn't gain much either. Pretty much a right click or two into that tier 3, and free tier 2 for the side of BBC. They're not able to go in and take advantage of that Exorcism being down, however, and they don't push high ground for the time being. Roche not going to spawn for at least a minute and a half, a little bit more than that. So they will be content to sit back and farm. And having the Spectre, they should be at this point. Spectre, 5k net worth ahead of the Slark right now. Did just pick up a Manta Style, has 1200 gold in addition to that.
So not doing too bad at all. But looks like Gplay maybe want to go for some proper movement of their own, like get a few pickoffs. But the thing is that they, preferably at least, would be able to take a fight or a few pickoffs without using the Exorcism. Just to have that for the base push later on. That really is the biggest weakness of a Death Prophet. Just, it's nice for pushing or it's nice for team fighting. But rarely can you manage or just kind of maneuver around your enemy team so that you could get a team fight and a push.
Shivas does come out now for Kikoni, so that's a nice little pickup to be able to slow things down and get a little more effectiveness out of that Exorcism. But regardless, very elusive lineup from BBC with the Storm Spirit and the Spectre being very mobile with the Spectral Dagger and the Ball Lightning.
Now, looks like BBC, they are rather grouped up themselves as well, but Kikoni, they have the Exorcism level 3. I guess they could even try to go in down bottom lane. I mean, they do have the 1 Rax advantage, so that's been there for quite some time already. I think it's at least 8 minutes or so, unless I'm mistaken, but they can force BBC to TP back most likely when the Exorcism is there, I think.
No doubt that is the case, and we will see a TP back from at least Padrino for the time being. Does have Haunt at the ready. Will pop his Mantas and let them take the wave down with that Radiance, as well as some of the Desolate damage, but not going to be right-clicking any heroes for now. And Will just pushed the wave back. There is a defense being mounted as well by the side of Gplay. Insolent TPing back with a few of his comrades, and it looks like everything going to be just a little bit passive for the moment as the teams look to find the best engagement suitable for them. Weehaw is going to rotate through the jungle. He may find someone as he zips to the high ground here in the form of Pure Evil or Kikoni, and those are definitely two targets he would love to bring down.
Oh, they most certainly are. I mean, either one of those would be a treat for them. Both, do they have buyback?
Neither do, actually.
Oh man, that would have been pretty huge if they had gotten it then, but do you think the Gplay, they didn't go for the push just because they thought like BBC maybe they're really sacrificing the just set of racks, and then when the extras on cooldown, then they just go for like straight GG themselves or something? I mean, I really thought the Gplay could have maybe forced the issue a little bit better than that. Just they TP'd out first without BBC actually even knocking on the door of the base.
Yeah, perhaps they're just worried about the high ground advantage, but I do agree that they really are going to want to have to take a fight on their terms, and if they allow Weehaw to jump in and initiate with this BKB, Orchid, and Scythe, they're going to be really hard-pressed to find a good counter initiation. They don't have something like a Tide or an Earthshaker to jump back into the fight as BBC does, so they really do want to take fights on their terms, but maybe they need a little bit better vision before they go high ground.
Well, at the moment, this waiting, I guess, maybe favors BBC a little bit, just because Roshan is going to come out, and it should be the third Roshan, if I'm correct in this.
Yeah.
So it's going to carry the cheese as well. And Storm Spirit with either the Aegis or cheese is just a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good cheese carrier is the Storm, as he is with the Aegis, full mana and health pool, always great on him. And 3,400 gold is on Padrino here, so he can look to pick up perhaps a diffusal at this point, perhaps a BKB of his own, although into the Death Ward and the Exorcism, not the best. Can pick up an AC if he likes as well fairly soon, so be interesting to see what he builds. Nonetheless, 22,000 net worth is 7k ahead of Insolent Slark at this point, and despite picking up the Midas, hasn't been super effective in this late game phase.
Yeah, I mean, just hasn't found the farm or the space to farm, I guess. Just looking at pure last hits, 175 on the Slark compared to 323 now on Padrino. So it's just, you cannot compare those, although they need some excellent lockdown, which their heroes just don't have really. Maybe Yules into Ice Path is the best. Yules is there, Ice Path will fall as well. They need to bring him down so damn fast, but he got the BKB off immediately. Probably shift Q, and there's the stun onto Kikoni. Hex Wall, Blink Ravage catches 4. This is the fight that BBC have been looking for. Kikoni still alive with his BKB, hops the Exorcism anyway, but he's going to go down to the physical damage, or he is still alive, doing a lot of damage, and well, the Haunt does bring him down in the end. Got a little bit more down than I really would have given him credit for, but it's a 3-for-1 fight in the end anyway. Yeah,
I was thinking it was much of a panic exorcism as well, and pretty much a waste of the cooldown. You should have saved that for buyback, however. Is able to bring down Weehaw's Storm Spirit, but Weehaw can instantly buy back if he wants to, and they've already bought 3 down here, and they will bring down another, presumably, in perhaps the Brewmaster. If they're able to chase down these Brewlings, Jakiro has already extricated himself from the fight, but they may be able to get this down if they do have some detection.
Man, this Ravage once again catching just 4 heroes. Maybe there was a 50 event somewhere along the lines, although I think it was still 4. But the gem is on the Skyriff Mage, but he's the one getting cycloned up, so they don't have any. I don't think they will catch the Brewmaster. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. If they had the Storm Spirit, it would be a little bit easier, but just what a fight. And Suddenly Spectre has 6,000 gold.
Yeah, he should be able to walk away here for the Brewmaster, so they haven't lost too much, but just another great engagement for the side of BBC. They'll probably be able to retreat into Roshan here and find that fairly easily for the Spectre, who, as we mentioned, has 6k and can buy a huge item here to supplement their team fight as well.
Oh, Anchor Smash is second too soon, but they get Hawkeye in the end anyway. Didn't go for the immediate blink out even, I don't think he tried, but oh, that's a 4-for-1 fight. I guess it's nice that you got the Storm Spirit kill, but AC will be the pickup for Padrino, as discussed earlier. Has it completed straight away. He even needs space. Just does he sell the urn or does he sell the TP scroll for it?
Well, I think you sell the urn at this point in the game. He's got the haunt though. Either way, he will bring it out. And very good awareness from Weeha in that engagement, knowing exactly the positioning of his teammates, knowing exactly how much time he has with that 5-second BKB and the Hex to turn on Kekoni, lock him down, and allow the rest of his team to re-engage there. And obviously Hockey finding a great counter-initiating Ravage onto 4 heroes, turn the fight. And BBC looking really strong at this point in the game, over 15,000 net worth lead, 30k experience lead in their favor, and it looks to be the beginning of the end for Gplay.
Well, especially now with this Roshan. 15 seconds on the Storm Spirit till he respawns. Although, I kind of expect him to just ball lightning all the way into the Roche pit, or as close enough to it as he can. He actually doesn't have like the craziest of intelligence items, or if you had the Bloodstone you might have a little bit more mana, like 2.9k or something, but he's still going to TP in and ball lightning all the way in. He wants that Aegis bad. So that's Aegis on him. Cheese will... Was it the second Roshan then?
I guess it was only the second Roshan. I thought it was the third as well, but I guess we casted a few too many games today. Either way, yeah, no Cheese, but Aegis very good on Storm, as you mentioned. Refresher comes out for Hockey as well, and if he has a couple of Ravages that are even half as effective as his have been thus far, he will definitely be able to win the fight for his team and allow Padrino to do quite a bit of damage under this haunt with that newly picked up AC. Padrino is a little bit out of position top lane, but he will back out, send the Mantas out for the time being, and he probably is going to scout some people out with these Manta illusions.
Well, Gplay, they are backing up all of them at this point, just going to the side shop, going into the trees. They are really on a covert operation at the moment, but even if they kill the Spectre, he still does have buyback, and buyback haunt is just such a strong ability to have for you.
Yeah.
And all BBC, are they going to lose Padrino now? He's in the creep wave, so I guess this is the best time to go for it. Blink Pounce comes out, Thunderclap to follow, Death Ward as well. They want him, and they want him bad, and he's probably going to die and buyback and haunt in. Manta Style comes out now. Levy, he's going to back off, but V is just so far away. They might even catch the Ogre here. They're going to get the Pounce on him as well, so that's just 2 kills, and since V was too far away, they couldn't even buy back and haunt in.
Very, very much patience here from Gplay, and they find a very nice bait onto the highest priority target, but as you mentioned, buyback is available, so I don't think they'll be able to transition this anything into base defense here, but they may force out a buyback, and there is 5,800 gold on Insolence, so he can fly over something pretty huge here if he chooses to do so.
He definitely can. I mean, might be anything. Might be something like a butterfly. Wouldn't be a bad choice, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess you don't really want to go for a BKB if you can help it. You feel like you need more damage most likely, but even a BKB wouldn't be a bad choice against what BBC has. I mean, double Ravage. They have the Aghanim Scepter, Ogre Magi, but he goes for a Basher, so might be straight off Abyssal Blade, I guess. Yeah,
Abyssal very good here, but I almost feel like the BKB is necessary against Refresher Tide as well as a Storm Spirit. And even the Skywrath Mage, the ability to purge off that Ancient Seal is huge to actually allow him to get off his Shadow Dance and be able to survive in some of these fights. We haven't seen him really be able to sustain himself and do a lot of damage here, but either way, at Abyssal, he will be able to lock down one target, and if that's Weeha's Storm Spirit, they should be able to burst him down in that duration, if at least the Exorcism is up and close by.
Yeah, but Storm Spirit now, he's going for that Bloodstone. Does he have it finished? Yeah. Yes, he does. So he doesn't need money for buyback just because he has the Aegis, but you have to make sure that they're going to go for a fight within the next 2 minutes then. Because if it, I guess with the 2 minutes you can farm up buyback if you're fast enough. Just looking at gold per minute, it's 615 on Spectre, the highest. It's not all that high, to be honest.
Yeah. Either way, BBC storming down mid. No pun intended, with Weeha in the front lines with that Aegis up. And they should be able to find a really good engagement here with this Aegis, as well as the Haunt and the fresh AC up on the Spectre. 3,000 gold in addition is ready for Padrino and does have buyback at the ready.
Man, these buildings are going down so fast with the AC providing minus armor. They are trying to split push, but they need a huge fight, but they're always going to have to be so worried about the Tide onto Ravage. And just look at where Hockey is. He's so far behind, but Insolent, he goes in, does miss the pounce though. Can they even follow up? They're backing off Mystic Flare also with, so I guess they will just reset things.
Yeah, they'll do just that. They'll mech up and Bloodlust once again, and Weehaw still very healthy, still with his BKB. Just going to put Padrino on the front lines here. He'll get hit with the Ice Pass, jump in, clap. Death Ward is out as well. He's going to Manta that off. He will go down here, but he's able to buy back, saves the Haunt. Haunt's right back into the engagement. Weehaw and him going on to Pure Evil. Ravage is there. It's going to hit on Kakoni. Mystic Flare not going to do much. But they will bring down Kakoni here with the Exorcism up. So if he buy back, he doesn't have that. Refresher is popped by Hockey. Has another Ravage. They will be able to bring down Hawkeye as well. 2 buybacks available. They will buy back instantly and TP forward, but there's no Exorcism here. Jump forward from Weehaw, and he's going to find one. Ravage again is on 3. Hockey playing out of his mind. Insolent going to try to get back with that Dark Pack. He is able to do so. Zip forward, though. Orchid by Weehaw. A few more right clicks onto Insolent, and GG is called. Hex up onto Hawkeye. They'll finish him off for good measure, too, and BBC on the back foot, looking on the brink of an elimination, and they do find the win here in Game 3.
It was just pretty rocky at some point, I mean, losing the racks about 30 minutes in as well, but they held on after that, and with the Storm Spirit and the Spectre just had enough in them to win the fights, and of course Hockey really well played in this Game 3 as well, just huge ravages, so many free plus targets just every single time almost.
Yeah, BBC, very nice patience from them to drag this game out to the late game. Gplay did force some buildings early and get the structures, as you mentioned, but they just fed over too much in all of the engagements that were necessary in order to bring down those buildings. And eventually, they paid the price, 30K in excess of that in terms of the experience lead, eventually surmounted by BBC, and it was just too much to overcome for Gplay.
So yeah, this is gonna be it for us for the day. We still have more Dota on HeflaTV HP1 on Hitbox. It is... oh god, I'm completely forgetting who it is, but it's somebody for the Battle of Central Europe at least. Aftershock versus Hellraisers. So that's the game for them. A best of 3. Game number 1 has more or less just started, so check that out. We will be back with GG League in 2 days time on the 6th of December at 16 CET as well. It's going to be NIP versus Album Sheet. And the winner of this, as in Balkan Bears, will face XDD Dota, X Meteor Makers, however you want to call them, Baby Knight and Co. On whatever date, we don't know yet, but that's going to be the semi-final, DD Dota versus Balkan Bears. But for now, guys, hope you enjoy the cast, the entire best of 3 series, and you can always follow HeflaTV for more content, of course. It's Facebook and Twitter.com/HeflaTV. For the casters, it's at Couchor for me, and MRP, where can people find you?
You can find me over on Twitter at mrp_Dota. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. More Dota coverage coming your way, and as Couchor mentioned, hitbox.tv/HeflaTV1 HB1 or HeflaTV HB1 for the BOCE right now.
Yes, guys. So that's it for the day for us. Just see you in 2 days for GG League. Maybe a little bit earlier for something else, but definitely check out BOCE and just have a good one.
GG, guys.